Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So guys, I'm about to do a reading for all of y'all. Let me Okay, what am I supposed to do? I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is a massive change of heart. So someone is having a massive change of heart. I'm not sure what that means, but I hope it's a good thing. Good morning, Erin. All right. I hope it's a good thing, and I hope it means doors are being opened for you, and that you're reaching a space within yourself and your journey where things are going to become so much easier. That's my hope. That's definitely my hope. We'll see how it plays out. We shall see how my hope plays out. Let me I was shuffling cards while the intro was playing. So I just shuffled this one. Get a couple. Oh, okay. Well, those wanted to come out too, apparently. And then last deck. Ooh. Does it look like it grew overnight? Oh, do you mean like, does it look a little bit thicker? Is that what you mean? I hope that's what you mean. My hair is pretty much still the same length. Hi, Naeem. I don't know. I've been having kind of like this sense of, I don't know. It looks longer. No, still the same length. It's still my scraggly whatever it is. My hair has gotten very scraggly. I need a new shampoo and conditioner. I don't like the one that I'm currently using. I need one that's completely natural. Like maybe I'll just start using Castile soap, because I'm really just so sensitive to chemicals at this point. Let's get started. Here goes. Ooh, okay. Okay. So there's some stuff that's happening right now. Ooh, hold on. Hold on. I want to see how this plays out. Okay. Okay. All right. So I think this is going to end up being a love reading. If you're not interested in love readings, take me with you. We shall see. Okay. So you or someone is being pushed out of this incubatory phase, right? You're not really wanting to be hidden away as much. You're kind of wanting more interaction. I don't know that it's with a specific person. I think there's just something shifting inside you that's causing you to want more connection, more interaction with the people in your environment. Now, there's something that's needing to be contained, or something that's wanting to be contained. And I think maybe whatever this is, um, the sense that I'm getting is that something or someone wants you to be contained. So maybe this isn't a love reading. Maybe it's not. I'm thinking you're falling into alignment with what you're supposed to do. I'm feeling that you're reaching a place within your journey where you're really, really on board at this point, not just trying to convince yourself, not just saying, not just like going through the motions, but this is something that you're really wanting, right? There's an actual desire for that forward progression. I think you're going to get it, but at the same time, um I think this is going to be a really profound reading. I think this is going to be a very, very profound reading because something wants to keep it contained, right? And that falls directly in alignment with this like attempt to incept this concept that, oh, this is going to be just another love reading, twin flame reading, I just cough it out, right? I don't think it is though. Initially, for a second, I was like, "Oh gosh, it's one of those readings again." But right now, no, I don't think it is. I don't think this is something that is, meant to be received in a very lighthearted, playful manner. I think that you're needing some guidance on why things are going the way they are for you right now. Because look, autumn in reverse, guidance in reverse. So um, this is kind of indicative of the fact that there are aspects, details to your journey that are just not quite making sense. Like, why are things going the way that they are? I think because there's something trying to interfere with your process. You're most likely falling into deep alignment with the things that are supposed to happen for you, right? For you, not to you, for you. There's an unfoldment that's occurring. Now, Book of Shadows, Secret. You're writing a new storyline for yourself, but I think it's even being kept secret from you. I think a lot of what's happening, um, you're probably feeling like you're being forced to um, simply go with the flow, do things without any idea of what's happening. Oh, that's possible. It's possible if you don't know why you can't have more say or more control. Well, I mean, do you have a penchant for self-sabotage? Because that would absolutely explain what the why. I know I do. I know I do. I know that when I recognize the degree of progression that I'm achieving, the amount of healing that I'm experiencing, I sometimes will have this tendency to look for the negatives, to immerse myself in thought patterns that are not supportive of what I'm trying to accomplish. And then that causes me to sabotage my own progression. It's a very common thing if we're really going to be honest with ourselves. It's a very, very common thing. But I mean, what needs to happen now is we need to recognize the ways in which, although it's very, very common, it's not compatible with what you're trying to do. So it needs to stop. And if it needs to stop and you can't help yourself, then yeah, your soul is not going to tell you. It's gonna leave it all a surprise, because I found that for people who are like me and have this struggle, when soul doesn't tell you what it's gonna do in advance, you have a tendency to be more properly aligned and much less resistant. So there was something that was worked on over the summer. It was something that maybe was allowed to come forward. It was something that maybe was allowed to come forward, some type of awareness, um, some type, and it feels like early summer. Let me show you the cards, right? Early summer was kind of, it went upside down because an awareness of something was allowed to come back to you. And of course, you know, maybe it's something you didn't want to deal with. Right? Maybe it taps into A very upside down portion of yourself and your logic. I'm not sure. Maybe it's someone outside of you. We often get this masculine card in reverse. And honestly, um, maybe the change of heart has to do with not quite knowing what that even means anymore, right? Maybe we had become so committed, we as individuals had become so committed to specific roles that we volunteered people to play in our lives and that we volunteered to play in someone else's life. And maybe we're just not wanting to do that anymore. Maybe the assumptions have just been played out. Maybe it's time to reconsider certain things, um, revisit certain opportunities. That's the sense that I'm being given. And because all of this is stuff that maybe is triggering the way you feel, it's causing a lot of sense of like instability. I don't know that you're unstable. Sometimes when we become aware of the impending changes, the impending shifts, we interpret that erroneously as our awareness of impending instability. And I don't know that you are unstable. Unstable. Hold on. Meaning prefix on. Not. Okay, what about in? In, on, or not. Hmm. So, um, un is not. Unstable is not stable. But I said instable, which means in, on, or not. In a space of recalibrating your stability on top of something or like a process. Hmm. Let me see. Hmm. Not solid and firm, and therefore not strong, safe, or likely to last. Hmm. Not solid and firm. So if you're not solid or firm, that could indicate that you're entering into a space of flexibility. And that could be indicative of how life is about to completely change for you, right? There's a difference between the nuances of what prefix and suffix you attach onto a root word. There are nuances to these things. And sometimes the lessons that you go through are so nuanced that you don't realize you're missing out on the actual message. If you just take things at face value all the time, well, you're not going to be able to learn to the degree that you deserve to learn about yourself, about your life, about your journey. So, um, remember, unstable, not solid and firm, and therefore not strong, safe, or likely to last. This upside down cycle that you're in, it was initiated in early summer. It's not safe, it's not stable, and it's not likely to last. That's good. That's good. I was thinking this morning, I was laying in bed and I was just thinking about how, because my husband and I were talking, and we have moved quite a few times. And one of the things we were talking about is one of the rooms, master bedrooms that we had at one point was massive. It was like half of the second floor. It was massive. It just the room itself was the size, it's like larger than a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, just the master bedroom. and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. And then we ended up moving to another place where the master bedroom was so small that we couldn't even fit our bed frame in there and manage to have space because we have a huge bed frame. And then we ended up moving to another place where it's this middle ground between the two. There's enough space for all of the things we need in the room, but it's not so much space that it's like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. But it's not so little space that we can't fit the things that we need. And so it becomes this like we're playing Goldilocks, right? We're trying to figure out what it is we need. Sometimes we convince ourselves we need more than what we need, and in reality, we don't. Um, if you can allow yourself to see exactly where that perceived need is rooted, you can then begin to understand that sometimes what you're doing is simply overcompensating. So, for that massive bedroom, we went from desert hood, which was I will never live there again. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. I will never live in that state again, ever. Um, I just it's the energy is not compatible with me. I'm okay with living in hoods. I'm fine with that. So, leaving that, we ended up overcompensating, right? We ended up overcompensating. Yeah, we moved to another hood, but the bedroom was like massive because I felt like, we're not gonna be going outside the house because I've been traumatized by the hood, the last hood that we were in. I don't yeah, no, I want somewhere very, comfortable in the house, lots of space, because I have a huge family, and, so that's what we chose, and then it became this thing of I didn't like that house either. And when it came time to move, it was like, we don't really need that much space because we really all just stay in one room. Um, we could honestly live in a huge studio. Like we were all seriously just in the same room all the time. Right. My family's very, very close. And so I was like, oh, we should totally downsize, massively downsize. And that didn't work either. Very unhappy there. And now you get to this space where it's like you begin to wonder, what do I really want? Rather than just continuing to overcompensate. Overcompensation after overcompensation after overcompensation after overcompensation. And I think that's kind of what's been happening. And having this change of heart could maybe indicate that now you're allowing yourself to see what you really want. You're allowing yourself to ask yourself, what do I really want? What would really make me happy? What in life um, would make me feel not just satisfied monetarily, materially, not that. This feels like it's so much deeper. It feels like it has to do with the direction that your destiny is trying to take you into. This is something that, you don't have to clear from your life. The upside down cycle that you are in, that's already being cleared. That's the sense that I'm getting. It's already being cleared out. It was used to kind of serve as an awareness of what you really want. Um, Something that I also realized um, for most people, and they won't realize this, but for most people, you'll be allowed to experience the polar opposite of the blessing that's coming. The polar opposite. Why? Well, when you exist in such a painful deficit, when what is really for you finally comes, finally arrives, then what will happen is you will welcome it, you will embrace it, right? I've had this happen so many times already. I trust the process at this point. Um, Everyone's process is going to be different. Everyone's process is going to be felt differently, received differently, seen differently by the person experiencing it. Just keep this in mind, though. Okay? Keep this in mind. It's time to allow yourself to truly experience the full gravity of what soul is trying to provide you. It's time. If you lack an awareness of what you want, take the time to really figure that out. Your awareness of what you want and your willingness to go through the process to get what you want. If it's aligned, what you want is aligned with what your divine path is, you will get that. You will get that. So this was a couple of years back, actually. Um, we were going to move, and it was going to be a very, very large move. Oh my gosh. It's basically a relocation. And we were looking at a place. It was a farm because I love farms. And it was ridiculously expensive, like ridiculous. But I was like, we could do it. We could do it. We could do it. Right. And it had all the different components to a home that I thought I wanted. And that process kept being dragged out and dragged out. We weren't buying, we were just going to rent. So that kept being dragged out and dragged out. And then there was this one other place, one other property that was in a completely different city that I did not want to live in. But the person had messaged and was like, hey, do you want to come look at the property and this and that? And I totally was like, yeah, sure. We could be there, 48 hours because we're not in the state. And what ended up happening, the farm that we were talking to, they were choosing between us and another applicant. And they basically said they were going to choose us because we were willing to pay more. And it was the weirdest thing because they should have given us the lease to sign that morning. They hadn't given it. I completely forgot about the second property we were going to look at because we were already like, all right, we're going for this farm. Um, we didn't make the drive. We didn't make the drive. And so I felt bad, but I had messaged the realtor maybe like 30 minutes, 15 minutes before the appointment. Like, I'm so sorry. We overslept this morning. We're not going to be able to make it. We're not in the state. And she totally was like, well, I'm already at the property. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, I drove like an hour. And I was like, my God, I didn't realize she was going to drive an hour. And then she asked if we would like to do a FaceTime tour. Now, again, this was in a city that I didn't want to be in. I was just like, that's too close to a city that I don't like. I don't like the energy of it. It's caca energy, demon horita energy. I don't like that. And as soon as we started the tour of this house that was not a farm, it was not big and bougie or any of that. It was like half the price every month. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think that's home. That feels really good. It feels like our kids would be happy there. No, there's no massive backyard. There's not going to be any of that. We can't drive our go-kart or anything. But I don't think any of that even matters. I think this is home. When what you want is aligned with what you need, you will get it. Because once my husband said, you know what, we really like this property, let's just tell the farm no. Literally within 15 minutes, the farm owners were like, hey, so the other people decided they were willing to pay even more. And I was like, oh, no, I'm good. We're good, no thanks. Yeah, because they were trying to pit us against each other to bid higher and higher, and I was just like, "I'm good. I really don't wanna farm that bad." I mean, it's not like I'm buying it. We're just renting. It's not that big a deal. We're just renting. And allowing myself to recognize that was not aligned with where I needed to be. That's why it was taking so long. That's why there were so many additional complications and discussions. And the moment we had a change of heart, like, you know what? No, we don't want that anymore. We want this. It doesn't have, all the extra other things that we thought we wanted and needed, but really don't. Well, you're perfectly fine and perfectly happy in the smaller house on a smaller parcel of land for half the cost every month. Everything happens for you. But if you're going to let your ego get in the way, if you're going to let all of these different expectations of what you think you want, because why? I came to a realization recently. I don't want to be an effing farmer. I don't want large amounts of acreage. I just don't. I just need like a little, well, a larger patio to fit all my potted plants with easy access to a hose to water my potted plants. And I'm good. I'm good. I don't need all that extra other stuff. I don't need to be um, in a space of like overcompensating for whatever fears I'm not acknowledging. Right. I think maybe for many of us, a change of heart is simply recognizing the ways in which we're functioning, right? Hey. Hi, Cozy Parker, the blue velvet Frenchie. You popped in my head maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I hope you've been well. Um, so nothing is yet set in stone. And this is telling me that you're being allowed to decide. You're the deciding factor as to what you're going to get, right? You need to make sure that whatever you're going to choose, it's going to be something that is in full alignment with your needs. What you need and what you want is not always the same thing. You look at relationships, sometimes you want the boy that you don't need. Do you need the drama? Do you want the drama? I mean, oftentimes people will date others based on aesthetics. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's not what draws me to people. You need to have um personality, you need to have character, you need to have intelligence, you need to have integrity. We have to have similar hearts and a similar desire to like help others and kindness and things like that, right? Um, I've never really just been drawn to people based on aesthetics. And I had someone comment once on one of my posts, something about like they always date the most handsome guys, but those guys always treat them badly. I'm like, well, okay. Think about this, folks. Think about this. You want someone who spends all day to perfect their body, their aesthetics, their wardrobe. This is where their entire focus goes towards them and fulfilling the need for externalized validation by way of attention from others because there's something going on inside, right? There's something going on inside. And then you want that, and then you want them to not do that anymore when they're with you. No, they're going to continue to think about themselves. I see a lot of ladies, and I'm going to speak directly to what I know. Okay. A lot of ladies We are programmed to think that what we need to be attracted to is a man with a six pack, right? He needs to have a six pack. Like, ooh, look at that. Not a four pack, not a two pack, but a six pack. Okay. Why? Why are you drawn to that? Because that's what you're told. What am I drawn to? Well, if we're going to look at the physical, okay, I'm drawn to the back. He needs to have a strong back. He needs to have strong shoulders and strong arms because one day I might not want to walk while we're grocery shopping. He needs to be able to carry me. He needs to have the forearms to match. He needs to have hands that are strong and capable of building things, fixing things. I'm not looking at the aesthetics. I don't date people to waste my time. I'm looking at how you can function in the life we are going to build together. Are we compatible in that way? Do I see myself with you when we are old? Maybe it's time for a change of heart in what you're drawn to. And you can still have an affinity for images of people with six packs. You can still have that if you want. Go ahead. That's fine. But are you just buying a dream because someone sold it to you? What is that six pack going to do? What's that going to do for you? Because I know what I'm willing to offer a relationship, right? I know what I'm willing to offer you the whole package. By the way, I've been seeing a lot of these videos on Passport Bros and how some ladies are some ladies are um absolutely trying to bash these women from abroad because these American men are flying abroad, especially like to Asia, to find a wife. But you don't want to be a wife. You want to be a bad bitch. What's wrong with that? Why are you hating on a man that wants a wife? You don't want to be a wifey. You want to be a bad bitch, remember? You want to be independent, right? So why are you so mad that people are finding who they're compatible with? And this assumption that the United States is just so superior to all other countries and that women from other countries, especially a country in Asia, that we are docile, that we are uneducated, that we are desperate and boo. Most people who grow up abroad speak multiple languages. In addition to that, the primary focus, especially if you come from a space of poverty, is to get an education so that you don't exist in poverty any longer. I think a lot of what's happening is there are lights being shown on certain groups of people who are beginning to understand what it is they want and they're going after what they want. You have to know what you want to go after what you want. I was watching those videos and being a Filipina myself, being Pinay and very proud of it, um, I found it laughable that a lot of these videos focus on Filipina wives and stuff. These Filipinas who I guess are heavily sought after. I don't know. I don't know. I tend to stay in my lane with those type of things, but yeah, I was watching these videos and it's like, "Oh, you don't know. Pinays are not docile." No. You think we are. You think we are, but we're not. We're just proper and don't broadcast it to the world. Knowing what you want is important. And being able to receive communications from soul about how to get what you want, and maybe how what you want is not in alignment with what you need. That's very important. You need to allow the communications from soul to begin happening, okay? A new romantic cycle begins. So for some of you, you're going to be falling in love. Go on then, fall in love. That's none of my business. Go on and fall in love. You got to be careful about what you're falling in love with. Okay. Um, I think having an idea, just a general checklist of what you want. And I say general checklist. This is not, you're not making a build a date. Okay. Um, I think having a general idea of what you want and what you don't want, having um a fairly solid idea of what you consider deal breakers, right? Like, for example, for some people, it's a deal breaker if the person that you are dating looks at another person who is attractive. Why is that a deal breaker? Why is that a deal breaker? Is it because it triggers your insecurities? Very serious question. Why is that considered a deal breaker? Was there inappropriate behavior, inappropriate conversations, um, inappropriate actions? Or is the person you're dating simply appreciating the aesthetics of someone else? Now, I'm not talking about people who repeatedly go on questionable profiles that have questionable content, that, that's a whole different thing. But if there is something attractive about a person, what is the deal breaker in that? Just acknowledging that there's something attractive. Now, for other people, the question is, if you are constantly made to feel insecure by the person you are romantically connected to, um, why is that not a deal breaker? If I Yeah, I used to have, I don't know, I don't wanna use that as an example. Let's speak in general terms. If your person goes out of their way to try and make you jealous, and then you get jealous, and then they tell you that you're tripping and have begun to condition you to be very, very silent when you get upset about their disrespectful behaviors, intentionally disrespectful behaviors, why is that not a deal breaker? Right? Why is that not a deal breaker? So we have to begin understanding where we're rooted within our insecurities, within our distorted perceptions, within all of these spaces that live inside us and cause us to interact with our environment and the people in our environment in ways that are not healthy for us. Oftentimes, it has to do with insecurities that are not being addressed, not being acknowledged. So, adjustments are required. Maybe the new romantic cycle is really just a call for you to fall in love with yourself to the degree that someone else can't affect you in that way, right? Maybe. And it is gaslighting. It's absolutely gaslighting. Both are gaslighting. Because in the first example where, why is it a deal breaker if your partner looks at someone else? Just a quick glance. If there's someone else there, there is someone else there, and they looked, and it's not like, ooh, let me have fantasies. And you know what I mean? It's not meant to be disrespectful. That's gaslighting in a way, because now you're projecting your insecurities onto them. Well, what do you expect this partner to do? Stare at the floor whenever they're out in public with you? Both involve gaslighting that's rooted in the gaslighter's insecurities. You want to be a healthy partner, not just because you want to be healthy for your partner, but because you want to be healthy within yourself, right? You want to be healthy within yourself. You deserve that. You deserve to have an existence where you can meet yourself in the center of your power, the center of your awareness of what you're capable of, and your insecurities have minimal effect on you. That's very, very important. And some of the adjustments that need to be made involve that, reacquainting yourself with just how amazing you are. I have no problems, like literally no problems, with not looking at my husband's phone. I don't go through his stuff. He don't go through mine. Why? We have each other's passwords. He's he keeps sending me passwords. I don't know where the hell I put them. I don't save them. He sends me my passwords too, and I don't know. I still don't know what my passwords are, right? Why? Am I going to have an issue every time someone looks at my husband as though he's attractive? I see some ladies looking at this guy at the gym. That's fine. That got nothing to do with me and him and what we have. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. If something makes me uncomfortable, if something makes me feel some type of way, it needs to be discussed, not just projected out, right? It needs to be discussed. Right? So this morning we're joking around and I said something like, "You're my number one." I'm like, "What do you mean number one? Am I not your only one?" He goes, "You're my number one, two, and three." And I was like, "For all my personalities." And he was laughing. It's this thing of the way we exist together is actually together as a cohesive unit, working together to reassure each other whatever needs to be reassured, right? Yeah, he's laughing. He knows how to love a Pisces. I'm 1, 2, and 3. There's a slot for each of my personalities. Your dreams need a practical plan, but it's in reverse. So I think what your soul is going to encourage you to do, it's not going to seem practical. All of this, you're probably going to fight all of this. And whatever it is you're fighting, I think it's the very thing that you would be the most happy with. I really do. I really, really do. I love the respect you show to each other. I do too. But we could also be total buttheads to each other. It is what it is. It is what it is, you know? We're real people. And at the end of the day, once we realize we've been a butthead, we have to apologize, right? You're not expected to be perfect, is what I'm trying to say. And expecting someone else to be perfect when you yourself cannot maintain that perfection, it's a little bit unfair and unrealistic. It's a little bit unfair and a little bit unrealistic. You need to begin looking at the bigger picture. This massive change of heart requires you being able to focus on what the big picture is. What do you want from what you are having or building with someone? Is this a message pertaining to, um, is this a message pertaining to some type of business, some type of career move? Is this a message pertaining to a relationship, a partnership, something like that? What are you trying to build? Is it short term? Is it long term? Right? Is it short term or is it long term? A new start is coming. Whatever this new start is, you're only beginning to experience minimal amounts of awareness of what this is. So, most of the details are still being obscured. Balance spirituality and practicality. Balance spirituality and practicality, right? So, you need to create a balance between um, this concept of like a soulmate, this concept of a twin flame. You guys, I will always repeat this message. Twin flames are not always supposed to be romantic. As a matter of fact, I would say about 90 something percent of twin flame connections are not intended to be romantic. A large percentage is not intended to be romantic. So if you're basing your decision to pursue a romantic connection with someone on some assumption that this is your twin flame, heavy emphasis on assumption. It is extreme. I will tell you this. I've had thousands of clients already. Okay. I don't say that to brag. I'm trying to give you a very well rounded understanding of how rare it actually is. And I know, no, you're the exception. People who think they're the exception oftentimes are the very people I'm describing or about to describe right now. Thousands of clients. I've had so many people come to me like, oh my God, I'm having so many problems in my relationship. This person is my twin. They're my twin. They're my twin. They're my twin. They're my twin, 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 twin. And they don't want to hear anything outside of the twin, and they're going to hold on with bloody fingernails. Okay, but that's not your twin. No, no, Emmy, you're wrong. You're wrong. Okay. I just don't feel like they are. And whether they are or they aren't, they shouldn't be treating you that way. So, and you give it enough time, and these same people will come back. And no, I'm not trying to shame them. They needed to go through their own process of learning. They needed to live through the lesson to learn what needed to be learned. And you know what they learned? God, you were so right, Emmy. I should have just listened to you. You should not have just listened to me. You needed to learn. Not you needed to learn because you need to be punished. No, you needed to learn for yourself. This is how you learn. For many of us, what ends up happening is we can't just take things at face value. We need to experience it ourselves, or else we're going to have a lot of questions and doubts and regrets and this and that. I know I'm like that. That's why I don't hold it against people. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to see you again. I know I'm going to see you again. I know how this is going to end. And it's just, I hope that between now and then, um, you learn what you need to learn to give yourself the clarity you need to have, and that you don't hold it against yourself when we see each other again, right? For a second, I thought that was Frey that said that 20 twin twin. Okay. Show the world the real you. I think part of the problem with our connections is that we don't show the world, the people in our world, who the real us actually is, right? Um, I know my husband really, truly, genuinely loves me because he knows who I actually am. He's seen me in all my different phases and stages and all of these different things, and he knows who I really am, right? Take time to breathe out. I think for many of you, you are holding your breath on something that you hope, you wish, you want so badly. I don't know that it's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to happen because I'm kind of, for the people who are holding their breath for it, the sense is that you're waiting for something to happen that you know is not in alignment with what you need. So that's not going to be good. Before I forget, because I keep forgetting, I'm going to be going live later today, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm going to be doing expedites. I'm going to do past life readings, ClairTarot readings, personal readings, scans, energy work. If you would like to get something done today, go click on that QR code or click on the link and you could see what I have to offer for later today. Okay. Um, so a fiery climax approaches. I think for some, you're going to reach a point of just super intense emotions about whatever this is, a time for healing. I think your wounds are going to rip wide open. Be gentle with yourself, please. Be gentle with yourself, please. I think a lot of what this is, and I don't mean global events. I'm to steer clear of speaking on global events. Yep, it's a spiritual thing. Mother Earth in reverse. This is not about in real life matter. Well, no, it affects in real life matters, but it's not strictly about in real life matters. It's about an internal circumstance that's happening that's preventing you from moving forward. It has to do with your emotions and your lack of willingness to express emotion, acknowledge emotion, process emotion. You have to allow your fear to be less than your courage. Fear can continue to exist. You can do things while still afraid. But if your fear outnumbers the amount of courage that you have, you're going to feel very crippled by that fear. You have to also begin the process of believing in yourself. Do not hang out with people or entertain people who lack integrity. This is so important. There are so many people who are about to be sucked into situations that you are so going to regret. You knew that person didn't have integrity. You knew that this was going to end badly. You could feel it. Still, you did it because you didn't want to listen to yourself. Every one of my shitty life stories that ends up with me crying and processing trauma started with this. I knew it was going to turn out bad. I knew this was a person who lacked integrity. No, it wasn't this thing of I hung out with them, interacted with them because I was going to get something. It was this really distorted, empathic belief that they just need love. And if I love them because I'm capable of tremendous amounts of love, then they'll become whole. Yeah, a whole asshole, not just one cheek. People are who they are, you guys. Mhm. People are who they are. I am always wary of the people who have something in their history where they screwed someone over. And the entire history of my entire life, I have never intentionally screwed people over. I have never gone into something knowing I was going to screw someone over. Nope. Nope. And if people are okay with doing that, okay. What's going to stop them from doing it to you at some point? Because you're that special. Honey, even if you are that special, not everyone can recognize or agree with the fact that you are that special. And for some people, the really, really like questionable ones, they'll target you because they recognize that you are that special. Okay? Don't play games with yourself. You are not here to save anyone else. You are not here to be a messiah. You are not here to be a hero. There is this quote, I forgot who said it, but it was something like, you either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain in someone else's story. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not going to find that quote. I screenshotted it from somewhere. I don't know where. I've saved too much stuff. But, if they feel shady to you, be cordial. Be professional, be cordial, always have that boundary, always enforce that boundary, never trust people who feel shady to you. You got to start believing in yourself. You have to start believing in your intuitive abilities. You need to begin having unconditional love for yourself. I realize that 100% of the time when I allow these questionable people to have access to me, I allowed it because of this unrecognized desire to have someone who was willing, capable, and would take advantage of me, mistreat me, and all of that stuff. That's why I let them have access to me, because I wanted to be maltreated. I was still in a space of punishing myself. For what? I thought you never did wrong to anyone, Emmy. Oh, no, I haven't done wrong to anyone. I was punishing myself still because I believed all the people who were offended that I exist. Right? So that's that. You have to understand you have a self-worth that some people might not be willing to acknowledge, and other people might be offended because they recognize it. That has to do with them. You work on you. Okay. Have gratitude and appreciation for how magical you actually are. Right. Be your best self always. Your life is about to change. This change of heart is leading to a change of life. Okay. You haven't been being gentle with yourself. The cards are totally calling you out. You keep trying to keep yourself in these boxes and very, very limited. Cards are totally snitching on you. You're not allowing yourself to receive the love that you need, the love that you crave from people who can do it in a healthy way with no strings attached, no expectations. I'm not talking about casual sexual encounters when I say no strings attached. I'm talking about the people who only provide you a sense of love based on what they can get from you. You don't need that type of toxic transactional connections. That's not love. That is prepayment for something you don't know they are prepaying for. This was the very thing that prevented me from receiving from others, because I always had this fear of, what are you prepaying for? How am I going to have to pay you back if I allow you to be my friend? What am I going to have to do later? Right? Which, if you have that mindset, if you have that fear, that goes to show you how many people have already done this to you. Okay? So, no, you're not being paranoid. This is what I'm trying to say. You are not being paranoid. You are not being antisocial. What you are is a person with a functional memory, and you remember all the ways that this has already played out. The problem is not remembering. The problem is not forgetting. The problem is that you haven't been applying what you've been learning. You simply just memorize and that's it. That's not enough anymore. Hope and happiness in reverse. I think for many of us, a change of heart will really come from this space of awareness of how little hope and how little happiness you've been experiencing. You got to make a decision, though. You got to make a decision. If you don't make the decision, then, I mean, I don't know. There's a lack of efficiency, right? There's a lack of efficiency right now. Yes, you have to do things in moderation, but you can't use moderation as the excuse for why you're not complying with what your soul is telling you to do. And your soul is asking you to recognize that part of your specialization is your brilliance, the way you shine. Allowing yourself to shine is so super important at this point, right? Allowing yourself to shine is very, very important because this is what's going to draw your actual people to you. You won't have to look back all the time. Your people are on your level already. They are on your level. They are seeking the same things. I think maybe we need to ask the question of, are you not on the appropriate level, or are you surrounded by people who are not on your level because you have this unrecognized need to feel like you know more than everyone? For many of us, that's what we do. We try and be the big fish in a small pond so that we can feel superior in some way, advanced in some way, needed and necessary in some way. That's not going to help you anymore. It's just not. It's not going to help you anymore. So you need to make sure you do whatever corrective healing type work that's appropriate for the process that you're in. Okay. So there's a lot of friction. There, I think this has to do with the upside down masculine. Um, Part of what that person is to do for you in your life is to lend some fortitude to your journey. And I think they're upside down in how to approach you. Yeah, action needed, unclaimed. Um, okay. So they're experiencing some degree of friction, but I don't know. It seems like maybe they're listening to their soul now. They're listening to the whispers of soul, and that's probably what's causing the friction. Because look, I think they're facing the reality of that they need to step forward. Um, that's difficult. I think they're struggling a lot. Whoever this is for you, they're struggling a lot. They want so badly to step forward. They want so badly to this, to that, to connect with you. To let's see. I'm running out of time. Okay. I don't remember your name, but I have a question for you. Wake up. Wake up. Show me no. Okay. No is a circle. Show me yes. Okay. Back and forth. Is this person considering approaching? Yes. Is this person feeling confident in how to approach? No. Is this person feeling very unsure because you are so you're like their dream person? Yes. No, this one is not Bish. I don't know where the hell I put Bish. Bish is like in my purse, one of my purses or something. Bish is rainbow moonstone. This one is crystal quartz and it has rainbows in it. Nameless, nameless, focus, nameless. Hey, nameless. Are they going to approach within the next 6 months? Yes. Are you saying yes and no because it's not decided yet? Yes. Okay. So they haven't decided yet. They're trying to find a way to approach you within the next 6 months. Hey, nameless. Will they approach before the end of the year? No. Nameless. Is this someone that they're going to be romantically involved with? Yes. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. There's friction. They're considering stuff. They are very heavily considering the way to approach. They feel like they're running out of time. They're ready, but they're waiting. Waiting for what? I don't know. For pigs to fly. They're stretching. They're stretching. Okay, hold up. Let's ask some more questions. Hold on. Cuz now I'm super nosy. Let me turn on the fan because y'all making me hot. Okay, nameless. Hello. Hello. Okay. Hey, I forgot my question. Oh, are they watching you? Yes. Do you know that they're watching you? No. Do you know who this is? Yes. Who is it? Who is it? What's going on here? What's happening? Okay, wait. Do you like them too? You do. Ooh. Ooh, you like them too. Do you already know who this is? Yes. Is this someone from the distant past? Yes. Is this an ex? No. Mikey. Ooh, you guys. Don't play. This is someone that you like. Maybe you're going to have a change of heart. Maybe this is someone that you considered before and then something happened and then so you stopped considering them and then now it's like second chances. You know, I was thinking this morning cuz I don't have very good sense of time, right? I just don't. And I was like, okay, so I first met my husband in 1997. Um Wait, is it someone from a I first met my husband in 1997 and I was thinking that, oh, it was a year before he found me again. No, y'all, it was 2 years. Okay, wait. Um, nameless. I love how you answer me right away. Hey, nameless, is this someone from their past life? Why are you shaking? They're scared. Nameless. Is this someone from their past life? Don't be rude. I'm asking you a question. Is it a past life thing? Yes. This doesn't have anything to do with me, right, guys? This is not my reading, right? Bitch, get back in the box. Go to sleep. You drunk, you tired, go to sleep. I'm done. Reading's done. I'm gonna go eat some grapes. I'm gonna start my class. I'm done. Y'all, please come join me later today. I'll be live to do past life readings, regular readings, ClairTarot readings, scans, all sorts of different types of energy work. If you would like to um if you would like to, have any type of work done, I'll be live later this evening, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Click on that QR code or click on the link in the comments. I'll see you guys again later today. Bye everyone. Oh, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe, turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I'll see you guys again later today. Bye, everyone.